Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? I hope you are enjoying the best of health. I welcome you in my class that is English for grade 4. We are going to start unit 3. Its title is Heaven on Earth. My dear fellow teachers, this lesson plan, PowerPoint presentation, worksheet links are given. You may click it, download it, follow it as it is, or modify it for your convenience. I'm going to deliver my lecture according to this lesson plan. And yes, my dear children, today under the title of Formal and Lexical Skill, we are going to learn use of articles. Before this in English for grade 3, I have already taught you articles. I hope you remember. If not, you may watch this video lecture again. And we are going to learn further to choose between a, an, and the before words that start with mute consonant letters. This is our today's SLO. Let's start with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah mentions in Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 2. This is the book. There is no doubt about it. A guide for those mindful of Allah. Yes, my dear children, this beautiful verse is about the book. And which book we are talking about? It's our Quran. And Allah is saying each and every word of Quran is haqq and such. There is no doubt in it. And it's speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's a guidance for us, and inshallah, whatever we want to do, we'll take help, we'll take the guidance from Quran, right? So one thing more, my dear children, I want you to look at these words. Book, we know book is a common noun. When I say book, it means any book. But when I use this definite article with book, it becomes the book. Now it's no more ordinary book. It is the specific one. Remember, we have learned this use of article. So we'll learn further. And now you tell me, what are mute consonants? What are mute consonants? Pause the video, answer this question to your teacher. Yes, my dear children, I hope you remember we have learned about mute consonants. Mute consonants are the silent letters in words. For example, honest, hour, wrist, knife, etc. And we have learned few rules for mute consonants as well. Let me remind you. Mute consonants are the silent letters that are not pronounced in words, even though they exist in the spelling. For example, W is a consonant and it is mute or silent when it comes before R. For example, right, wrist, wrestling, wrong, wren, wrinkle, rack, wrap, and wrench. In all these words, we don't pronounce this W. Why? Because after W we find R, and this R makes W silent. So in writing we write W, but when we pronounce these words we don't say this letter. That's why it's called mute consonant. The other example which we have learned is of K. K is silent when it comes before N. For example, no, knife, knock, knot, knit, knob, knee, knuckle, and knowledge. In all these cases, we write this K, but we don't pronounce it. Why? Because K is followed by N, and this N makes this K mute, and the word starts with the next sound. Do you understand? All right. Now, the third thing is H is silent when it comes before a vowel. If there right after H there is a vowel sound, we don't pronounce this H. And how do we say the word? Now you see, this is a vowel and H is before this. This H is mute and the sound is hour. honest. Here. Okay. Now in these words, because we are not pronouncing H, why? Because the next sound is vowel sound. And here we need to learn the rule of using articles. Okay. So first you tell me what are indefinite articles and what is definite article. Do you remember? So pause the video, answer these questions to your teacher. Yes, my dear children, I hope you remember and you answered correctly that indefinite articles are a and an, and definite article is the. Right? So these three are articles are a, an, and the. Two are indefinite and one is definite article. So how do we use it? We use an before vowel sound. Okay? This is what we have learned. If there is a vowel sound in the beginning of the word, we use an, elephant, because here it's E and there its sound is vowel sound. A is used before a consonant sound. A pen. The article, the is used before specific noun. Okay, this definite article is used before specific noun. For example, the sun, the earth, right? Now, the next step is, remember, I have taught you, we will not blindly we find a vowel is there and we'll start writing and. There are exceptions. Remember, you have learned. And what the exceptions are, for vowel U, sometimes it makes the same sound as Y in U. So whenever a word starts with the U sound of this vowel, instead of an, what we'll use? A. Why? Because this vowel is giving a consonant sound. Remember, that's why we say a unicorn, a union, a united front, and a used napkin. Remember? All right. And the second rule I taught you, when O makes the same sound as W in one. Okay. Now again, what's the rule over here? This is a vowel and it is giving a consonant sound, and because of its consonant sound, instead of an, we'll use a. A one-page story, a one-legged man. Do you understand? So these are the exceptions. Now let's come to third point. We use an article before a mute consonant. This is the point. The way we use a with a vowel if its sound is consonant. Likewise, beta, if there in a word there appear a consonant but it is mute, we'll switch to the very next sound. If it is a vowel sound, we'll use an. You got it? So when you find a word and the first letter is a mute consonant, you will focus on the next letter sound. If it is the vowel sound, we'll use an, right? He is an honest boy, right? And here the situation is same. The first letter is consonant and it's mute, but the next sound is not a vowel sound, it's a consonant sound, so we'll use a. She spotted a wrinkle on her face, right? Now you understand why it's an here and why it's a here. So this is the point we are going to practice in detail today. And a knife cuts the apple. Now we see the, and we have learned this rule for this definite article when one noun which represents its whole class, we use the, right? So let's practice it through an activity. Are you ready? All right. Your teacher will write words one by one on the white or blackboard, whatever is available, and you have to add a or an before the words. And my children, you are smart, you have to be careful. You have to keep in mind the consonant sound of vowel takes A, and the mute consonant which is followed by a vowel sound takes N. So your teacher is going to make it a little tricky, but you are smart to find the correct article. So pause the video, enjoy this activity. Yes, my dear children, are you done with it? Good job. Now all of you settle down. It's time to practice from your book. Use appropriate article to complete the following sentences. So the activity which we just practiced, we are going to practice the same in our book. You will read the next word. You will find the sound of vowel or consonant, and keeping in your mind the mute consonants and consonant sound of vowels, you will complete these sentences. So pause the video and complete this exercise in your book. Yes, my dear children, are you done with it? Good job. So it's time for your homework. You will make sentences in your notebook and use article with mute consonants in them. And here is a worksheet. My dear fellow teachers, this worksheet, lesson plan, PowerPoint presentation links are given. You may click it, download it, and kindly provide printed worksheet to students for practice. And my dear children, you have to complete the sentences keeping the concept we learnt today, mute consonant, which is followed by a vowel sound. So in this way, what we learned about mute consonants, we learned the use of articles, and we also learned the use of articles before mute consonants. So in this way, we achieved our SLO. Choose between a, an, and the before words that start with mute consonant letters. Yes, my dear children, are we done with it? Yes, so that's it for today. Tomorrow I'll come again with a very interesting lesson. Till that time, keep learning, keep practicing. Take very good care of yourself and the people around you. Thank you, and Allah Hafiz.